Okay, so we've got a fun pronunciation lesson for today. I think you guys will like this. And after that, once we get through with our pronunciation lesson, we'll be talking about the midterm exams from last week. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to ask you guys to take a look in your Well Said book. We're going to be working on chapter 9 today. Okay, so let me get that page for you. Okay, so chapter 9 begins on page 79. Page 79.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay. Okay, so on the midterm, we had part of the test that asked you guys to listen to some words, right? And you had to notice which syllable was stressed. Yeah? We'll talk more about the test a little bit later, but let's look at an example of that from the book. All right? So we have this word, computer. Computer. How many syllables does this have? 3. Yes, that's exactly right. So computer, right? It has a stressed syllable, right? One syllable that has more stress than the others. So what is it? Computer. Computer. It's the second one, yeah. So there's our stress. Okay, now we know from practicing this, we know that anytime we have a word with 2 or more syllables, one of those syllables has more stress. But we also do this with our sentences. So we're going to be looking at some examples of that. Now, if you look in our book, they give you this example. Okay, in this sentence, we say, we knew her. We knew her. This word is being stressed. These 2 words are not. Now, that's really interesting because when we look at this, computer, there's 3 syllables, right? 3 beats. Here we also have 3 beats, kind of. We knew her. We knew her. And this middle word is the one that's getting the stress. So it kind of sounds like computer. We knew her. So, but we're going to take some of what we've been practicing with our individual words and start looking at sentences and see how stress affects the sound of those sentences. Okay, now to get us started and just to think about the way we use stress, I want you to take a look at a message down here at the bottom. Okay, so do you guys, have you signed up for the alerts on your phone, so they send you text messages sometimes if something happens at the college? Do you sometimes get way too many of those? I've noticed sometimes they'll send out those messages and you'll get like 5 or 6 or something one afternoon. But this is kind of a situation like that. So imagine that something has happened at the college, okay, and you're going to get a text message. So let's find out what happened first of all. Okay, here's the message. Classes will be canceled on Tuesday. We will be repairing broken pipes. There will be an update at 4 p.m. Okay, so that's the full message, okay? But that's kind of a long message for a text. So I think what we need to do here is take a look at this message and see, are there any words we could cross out and still be able to send the same information? Okay, so I want you guys to take a moment to read through that again on your own.
To make it short.
Yeah, see if you can make it shorter. Cross out any words that you think are not necessary. Now, we do want to keep all the same meaning, but we can probably get rid of a few of these words. and still be able to send that same message, that same information. Okay, so I'll let you guys read through that first of all.
Okay, so glasses on.
Do you find a few you can cross out?
Yes, and right here.
Yeah, you can, or yeah, you can go ahead and do that if you'd like. Yeah, there is a space. If you come up with a shorter message and you're ready to move it over, there's a space for you to write the shorter message on the right. Okay, give you guys a chance to do that. Okay, so we have about 20 words in the original message. So how many words were you able to cross out? How many words could you get rid of? 6? Okay, you had 6. Did anybody have more than 6? 6. You had 6 too? 9?
13.
13, wow, okay. All right, so there's a range here. So I think we need to maybe look through and see which words can we take out and still keep the same meaning.
Will be.
Yeah, let's look at this. So let's start with classes. Classes, is that
Classes
important?
cancel.
I think
Classes,
talking
yeah,
about
that
this.
seems pretty important, so let's keep that. And then we have will be canceled. So you guys said
We don't
will
need
be
will
is not that
No.
important. I think you're right about that. So let's cross that out.
Mhm.
All right. How about on Tuesday?
Just Thursday.
Yeah, we need.
Just keep the day. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, on Tuesday, if you just said, cancel Tuesday, that would still makes sense. Yeah, and we could take away on, and we still have, the same meaning. Okay, well, let's look at the next sentence. We will be repairing broken pipes.
All things.
Yeah.
Okay, so we definitely can take some things out of here. Do we need we?
No.
No.
No, we really don't need that. How about will be?
No.
No.
No. How about repairing?
Yes.
Yeah, that at least gives us some good information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Broken pipes?
No. Yeah.
Probably.
Well,
Anyway,
yeah, we need-
repairing is.
Yeah,
for
if you say you're
broken one.
repairing, you probably need to say what you're repairing.
Yeah.
Okay. So repairing broken pipes, we probably want to keep that. We
Yeah.
might make an argument that
Mhm.
we don't really need broken,
I
but.
think
You can take
the
it all out.
classes cancel it.
Okay, that's all that I care about, so who cares why? Okay, so that's an interesting point. But if we're going to try to at least send the same information, yeah, maybe we need to say what the reason is. So, okay, so repairing broken pipes, let's go ahead and keep that. Now, how about this last sentence? There will be an update at 4 p.m.
There
So,
will be an
Do you think we need there
No.
will be
an-
probably,
No.
no, we can get rid of all of that,
Just
yeah.
update.
But update, that's good, at,
No.
yeah, we can get rid of at, and then 4 p.m. we can say,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the time, okay, we've got that. All right, so that didn't leave us with a lot, does it? How many words did we take out?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Maybe even more? 5, 6, 7,
9.
We took out, we actually took out more than that.
9.
Yeah, we took something
11.
like 11. Yeah, we took 11 words out. How many words did we keep?
Let go. 1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 p.m.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah,
Is-
if whether you decide if is that 1 or 2 words.
10.
Yeah, so we kept something like 9
10.
or
Yeah.
10 words. Yeah. So we actually took out more than half of the words. And we still ended up with a message we could understand. We ended up with classes canceled Tuesday, repairing broken pipes, update 4 p.m. Okay, so do you understand what they're trying to tell you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very clear. So that's interesting. We can take some of these words out and still understand the message that they're sending us. So now let's think for a moment, what kind of words did we take out? So what kind of words did we remove? We had some auxiliary verbs, right?
Conjunctions.
Yeah. We did keep main
Contracts.
verbs, yeah.
Conjunctions.
Prepositions?
Yes, prepositions, we took those out. I think someone said pronouns. Yeah, so we took out some kinds of words, but then we decided to keep other words.
Just nouns.
Nouns, okay.
Times.
Okay, the time, the main verb, like cancel, yeah. Adjectives, we did keep broken pipes. Maybe in this case, we could have taken that out away because it might have been understood, but adjectives often give you good information too. So, yeah, we kept things like nouns, our main verbs, and adjectives. Okay, very interesting. Okay, so kind of keep that in mind, and we'll kind of get back to thinking about those parts of speech in a few minutes. Let's look on page 80. Okay, so let's turn the page. We're going to look at a poem, and I want you to listen to the sound of this poem. Okay, this is kind of a funny poem, actually. All right, and I want you to really listen to the rhythm. So, you know how in music we have a certain rhythm, there's some strong beats, and that kind of, the beats kind of give you the feeling of the music. Well, English, the way it sounds, sometimes has that kind of rhythm to it. So I want you to listen to this poem and notice that rhythm, because we have some strong beats and weak beats. Okay? All right, so here we go. This poem is called Hi, How Are You Today? All right. I'm feeling very horrible and low and mean and mad and dreadful and deplorable and rotten, sick and sad and nasty and unbearable and hateful, vile and blue. But thanks a lot for asking, and please tell me, how are you? Okay, so as you're hearing that, you might have noticed that the way the rhythm is in this poem, we have 2 strong beats in the first line. In the second line, we have 3 strong beats. Then we go to 2, and then 3, and 2, and 3, and 2, and 3. Okay? So it has this certain sound to it. Now I'm going to go through it again. Now this time we're going to kind of tap it out. So I'll tap it out on the desk, and you guys can help me out if you want to, all right? So let's listen one more time, and this time we'll really pay attention to those beats. All right, so here we go. I'm feeling very horrible and low and mean and mad and dreadful and deplorable and rotten, sick and sad and nasty and unbearable and hateful, vile and blue. But thanks a lot for asking, and please tell me, how are you? Okay, could you hear it that time? Okay, all right. So what we're going to be talking about as we kind of get further into this chapter is this rhythm that English has and how it affects our pronunciation of certain words, okay? So let's go through this one more time. This time I want you guys to say it with me, and you can help me tap it out, okay? You ready? I'll slow it down just a little bit, just because there's a lot of words in this. It's hard to get them all out. All right, so here we go. I'm feeling very horrible and low and mean and bad and dreadful and deplorable and rotten, sick and sad and nasty and unbearable and hateful, vile and blue. But thanks a lot for asking, and please tell me, how are you? Good job. That was kind of difficult. Lots of words to get out there. Okay. All right. So let's now look at page 81, to you, and I want you to try and figure out what are they talking about, okay? All right, so this is part A. So A says, was you're in, and B says, about. A says, I'm in, to. Student B says, you can, in the. Okay, could you understand what they were talking about?
No.
No, it's completely impossible to figure out what are they talking about. Okay, so let's look at the same conversation, but this time, instead of the words that we had last time, we'll have some different words. Now see if you can figure out what they're talking about. All right. What grade chemistry? Think B. How yours? D. Trouble. Need C. Apply nursing. Fine. Retake chemistry summer. Okay, so what were they talking about?
Chemistry.
Chemistry, the grades in the chemistry class. Yeah, so that time you could understand what was going on. Kind of interesting. So here's the whole conversation put together. Now listen to the rhythm as I read through this, okay? Because you'll notice that we have some stronger beats and weaker beats. Okay. What was your grade in chemistry? I think a B. How about yours? A D. I'm in trouble. I need a C to apply to nursing. You'll be fine. You can retake chemistry in the summer. Okay? All right, so all those words in the second part of the conversation, those are the words that really helped us understand what the conversation was about. And those are the words that are louder. They're being stressed, right? So we're going to say those louder, and we're going to say them more clearly and at a higher pitch, all right? So that kind of makes sense when you think about it, because those were the words that seemed most important in terms of safety information. So those are the words that we're going to say more clearly, make them more easily understood when we're talking to someone. All right, so what kind of words had more stress? What kind of words really stood out and were easy to hear? So think about parts of speech here. Yeah, nouns again. Yes, exactly right. What else did you notice? Yes, verbs, main verbs.
Pronouns.
Did we stress pronouns?
No.
No, we did not stress pronouns.
Adjective.
Adjectives, yes.
Fine.
Yes, adverbs. Question words like what. Okay. Now the words that are shaded in this last version, the ones that are not very easy to hear, what kind of words are those? What parts of speech?
Articles.
Articles, that's right. And we're on page 81. So articles, what else?
Prepositions.
Prepositions, that's right.
Noun.
Anything else?
No.
Pronouns, yeah. Nouns we did stress, but pronouns we did not. That's kind of interesting. Also, did you notice any auxiliary verbs? What did we do with those? Did we stress auxiliary verbs?
No.
No, we did not. So we're stressing our main verbs, but not auxiliary verbs. Okay. Okay, well, let's look on the next page. Let's move on to page 82. And we're going to look at 2 rules that will help us remember all this, all the ways that we need to use this information. So what words do we want to stress?
Do that.
What words can we not stress? And what do we do to make those words stressed and easier to hear? Okay. So a moment ago, we went through that poem and it had a certain rhythm to it. English does have a certain rhythm. It may not be as regular as that poem because that poem is very like da 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 da. Well, you're not going to hear that exactly in regular speech, but you're going to hear those strong beats and weak beats, and it does give English this rhythm. So this first rule that they give us is that these important words are stressed. We call these words content words. So let's stop for a moment, and I just want to look at that word content. Content. Okay, do you know what verb we use that is related to this? This is a noun, right? It's a noun. What verb do we have that is similar to this word?
What back?
Verb. Do you know a verb?
Yeah.
Have you heard a verb that's similar to this?
Yeah, I think it may not be.
Yeah,
Contain.
contain. Yeah. Okay. What does it mean to contain something?
To keep, carry.
Yeah, to keep it or hold it. Yes, exactly. So the way we want to think about these words, they're content words. They contain the meaning. They hold the meaning. Okay? So those are content words. And in a moment we'll talk about some different words. And the other words that we'll talk about are function words. So we have content words and function words. Okay, so as we said, the content words, they're the ones that are most important. They contain all the meaning. When you're trying to talk to somebody, you're trying to communicate with them, you want to give them some information, those are the words that really hold that meaning and help you send that message to that person. So let's look at some examples of that. Okay, content words are usually strong or stressed. Content words offer listeners the most information. So that's our rule. Okay, and the example they give us is this sentence. Who can help me with my chemistry? It's really hard. All right, so what kind of words are content words? Well, as you guys pointed out, nouns like chemistry, okay, our main verbs like help, adjectives like hard,
Question words.
yes,
like
adverbs
who.
like really, you're right, question words like who, interjections, we don't have a good example in this sentence, but you know interjections like when somebody says, oh, or wow, or something like that, okay? So we usually stress those. And also very important are negatives, okay? And I know I just told you we don't stress our auxiliary verbs, but when we make a contraction with a negative word, like can't, don't, things like that, we will stress it because we always stress our negatives. No, not, never, okay? All right. So now let's look at the next rule. This is rule 9.2, and this time we'll be talking about the function words. So we have those important words that we stress, and they really help us communicate. Then we have other words that are called function words in sentences, and these don't have as much importance in terms of sending the message. But, excuse me, but these words make the sentence grammatically correct. So they're important. You know, your grammar teacher, when you're writing, she or he's not going to want you to leave out the function words. But when you're speaking, you can really stress the content words, and the function words are not as important in terms of communication. All right, so let's look at some other examples. All right, so here's a sentence. Peter was born in Germany, and he can speak 3 languages. Okay, so it's pretty clear what our content words are. Peter, born, Germany, speak 3 languages. But now let's try and identify the function words. So those words that seem less important in terms of sending the information. So we have articles, okay? Like in this case, well, they've given us a and the, okay, so those are our articles. Prepositions, like in and to, okay? Pronouns, he, she, it. Our auxiliary verbs, we said that earlier, and also conjunctions, like but, and, or, things like that. Okay, so does that all make sense? Any questions about that? Ready to start practicing this a little bit? Okay, all right, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, oh good, we have an even number right now, that's perfect. Okay, so what I'm gonna ask you guys to do is work with a partner and look at some sentences and see if you can figure out what the content words are and just circle those, okay? Now, they've given us an example to get us started. All right, so we have, it's closed on Mondays. All right, so using the rule that they gave us, you know, what's a content word, what's a function word, we know that closed, okay, that's an adjective, right? So we've got to stress that. And we've got Mondays, so we'll say it's closed on Mondays. Okay, and when we say that, we're really going to make those two words very clear and easy to hear. It's closed on Mondays. Okay. All right, so I'm going to ask you guys to work with a partner. So I guess we could have 2 here, and you guys can work together. And you guys can work together, and maybe you guys can work together, okay? All right, and I just want you to take a moment to work with your partner and find those content words that you're going to stress. Okay. All right. So let's take a few moments to do that, and then we'll talk about the answers in just a minute.
Did you do? Did you do or is I using word?
Well, it depends. Sometimes it can be used as a main verb, but sometimes it can function as an auxiliary verb.
It's
So,
like can.
right.
Second one.
Yeah, that's right.
In each number is 2.
It
sometimes
it
it's
varies. In this case, yeah, it does vary. A lot of them do have 2, but some of them have more. Okay, so yeah, sometimes you have to look really carefully.
Did you sign listen? Next one.
When you are involved with something, or the phone calls.
Do you want? What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want?
Are we talking about engaged? Okay, engaged. Well, I think the description you gave was correct. A very common meaning of the word is when a man and a woman decide to get married. They agree to get married, and they're considered engaged until they are married. So it means they're engaged, means they've agreed to get married. Yes.
My new car.
Okay, why don't we take a look at these sentences? Okay. All right, so what do you guys think? In number 1, which words are our content words? Want,
Want.
yes. Call,
Call.
yes,
Call.
exactly. Do you want me to call you? Do you want me to call you? And as we go through that, you'll notice those content words, those are the ones that are loudest and easiest to hear. Do you want me to call you? Alright, so the voice is kind of going to go up. Do you want me to call you?
Do you
Alright.
want me to?
Just,
Alright.
you, right?
Not you. You is a pronoun, so we do not stress it. Yeah, so it's want, call. That's right. How about number 2? Which words did you decide? Sign.
Sign something first.
Lease. Yes,
Lease,
sign
right.
lease. Did you sign a lease? Did you sign a lease? Okay, very good. How about number 3? Which words are stressed here?
Camila.
Okay.
Claudio.
Camilla, Claudio.
Engaged.
Engaged. Yeah. Do we stress R?
No.
No, we don't. I should say, let me point this out, because I don't know if we, I don't know if they said that, but that be verb, we never stress the be verb. Well, I shouldn't say we never stress. It's very unusual to stress it. Every once in a while, there may be a reason to stress it, but in general, you do not stress the be verb. So we would say Camilla and Claudio are engaged. So you hear that, Camilla, Claudio, engaged. Those are the 3 words that are really stressed and easy to hear. Okay, let's look at number 4. Which words did you circle for this sentence?
What?
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 Question word. And want. That's right. What do you want? What do you want? So what and want are the 2 words that we really hear in that sentence. What do you want? All right, how about number 5?
Happy.
Not happy.
Not. Very good. Our negative.
Not.
And you
New
said
car.
happy,
Happy.
yes. And
New
new
My
car.
new
Okay,
car.
so not happy, new car. I'm
Not
not happy
happy.
with my new car. Yes, very good, very good. All right. Any questions about that? Okay, why don't you take a moment with your partner and work with your partner to go over the sentences. I want you to say the sentences to your partner and make sure that these content words are really easy to hear. Make them a little louder. You can pitch your voice up a little higher as you say them, like, do you want me to call you? Do you want me to call you? Okay, so work with your partner and practice these. And if you're having any problems or have any questions, let me know and I'll come around and help you with that, okay? All right, just take a few moments to practice.
Did you want one? Second one.
Do you want call me?
Did you sign the lease?
Do you want? You say I say
Engaged.
you say number 2, I say number 2.
Camila and Claudio are engaged. What do you want?
Camila and Claudio are
And
engaged.
you know how to call new car.
I am not happy with my new car.
Cordelia and Claudio are engaged. What do you want?
Do you want me to call? Did you sign a lease? Camila and
I'm
Claudia.
not
Did you
happy
sign
with my new
a
car.
What?
I'm not happy with new
I'm
car.
not happy.
Sometimes it helps if you gotta clap on those content words.
No.
Makes you really stress them.
I'm not happy with my new
All right, yeah, why don't we go over them again? This time, let's clap on the content words. Really helps us remember, okay, I really want to hit this one and make it strong, okay? All right, so let's try that. So let's start with number 1. Do you want me to call you? Good. All right, how about number 2? Did you sign a lease? Good. Number 3. And Claudio are engaged. Good. All right, number 4. What do you want? words you might hear in the classroom. Okay? So once again, work with your partner, see if you can find those content words.
Content what?
Yeah, just circle the content words. Yeah, so you're going to pick out those words that we stress, the content words. And if you need any help, remember all the rules are over on this. Oh, wait. I'm sorry, it's right here. Yeah, these are the words that we usually stress. Those are our content words. So it helps you to find the parts of speech. And then as you look through here, you can kind of figure out which words do I want to stress in this sentence.
Monday.
Could
Can I
share
call and share?
Yes, mine is. Checking is name, noun, right?
You had because
What's the past tense? So what do you
about this because not
Just like all
is preposition.
I missed the test.
I see. What the answer to what? And so
Okay, so let's take a look at these sentences. What about number one? What are our content words? Answer. Number two. Good, very good. What's the answer to number two? All right, how about number two? Sorry, can't come on Monday. Very good. I'm sorry, I can't come on Monday.
On Monday?
Yeah. On no, but I can't come on Monday.
I can't.
So yes, so we'd say, I'm sorry, I can't come on Monday. So that on gets said really quickly because it's right in between those two content words. All right, how about number three? Borrow. Eraser. Yes. Can I borrow your eraser? Can I borrow your eraser? Okay, number four. Share. Book, yes. Could I share your book? Could I share your book? So you really hear share, book. All right, what about number five? Whose
is it?
turn? Yes. Whose turn? Whose turn is it? Yeah. So would we stress is it?
No.
No, because it's our be verb, right? And a pronoun. So we don't need to stress those. Yeah. We can just say whose turn is it?
Who's is
It's a question.
Oh, you're asking about the
Question
word
mark?
whose? Yeah. Whose is a question word? Yeah. Yeah. whose turn is it? So we want to stress whose because it's a question word. How about number 6?
Mine,
Mine,
checking,
checking,
composition.
composition, that's right. Would you mind checking my composition? Mind checking composition.
Mind checking composition.
How about number 7?
Late,
Late.
overslept.
Overslept, right. I was late because I overslept. What does that mean if you oversleep?
Sleep too much.
Just sleep too much. Like
Past the time.
Yeah, past the time you wanted to wake up. So I wanted to get up at 7, but I didn't hear my alarm, so I overslept. Yeah, I slept till 8 maybe. Yes.
I did it. I think it's.
You did this today? That's a good word to have, yes. All right. Number 8, what words are we going to have for our content?
What?
What?
Past.
Past.
Tense.
Tense.
Right.
What's the past tense of right? Okay, very good. How about number 9?
Explain.
Explain.
Direction.
Directions. Could you explain the directions? And then number 10, we have
Missed.
missed.
Test.
Test.
Sick.
Sick. I missed the test because I was sick.
Because I was
Okay,
sick.
very good. Okay, so again, I'm gonna ask you guys to practice with your partners for a few minutes. So say the sentences to each other and really try to hit those content words. And if you want to, you know, sometimes it's good to tap them out. So what's the answer to number 2? All right, very good.
I'm
Sorry, I can't. But I share your book. Who's turn is it?
Checking
I'm checking my composition.
Not mine.
I was late because I was sick. What's the past tense of right? Could you explain? I missed the test because I was sick.
Okay, sounded pretty good. So did you have any questions? Okay.
It's like
There were a couple words here that I heard. All right, I want to talk about, just a review here.
miss it.
Okay, so you said missed, is that right? Missed?
Missed.
Missed,
Miss.
okay, missed.
Miss.
Yeah, remember, we practiced this,
Miss.
recently. Missed sounds like this word, missed, because what's happening here is that ed sounds like a t. So missed. What about this word? How do we say that?
Engaged.
Engaged.
Is it engages?
No.
No? Alright, so
Engaged.
engaged. And
Yeah.
this ed sounds like the D sound. Engaged. So not engaged, okay? Because we don't want to add a syllable to it, right? Engaged. Engaged. It just has 2 syllables. Now, if we say engaged, it has 3 syllables. So we need to, instead of saying id, just the D sound. Engaged. I know it's kind of hard. And sometimes putting those 2 sounds together, a J and a D, it may seem, oh, that sounds weird to me, or it doesn't feel right. But that is how it sounds. So engaged. Engaged. Okay? All right, very good. All right, so any questions so far about content words? All right, you guys are doing great on that. All right, let's take a look on page 84.
84.
Page 84, we're moving on. Okay. I think I'm gonna move my camera over just a little bit because I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if we can. Yeah, that would be a better view of There we go. Okay, so we're moving on to 84. Have you guys ever heard
Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty?
My son favorite.
You know that, okay. So who is Humpty Dumpty?
He's the egg person.
He's an egg person, yes. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The egg man, he looks like an egg. I may have to. Let me see, I may have to find this picture. Because otherwise you're going to think, what in the world are we talking about? So let me see if I can find you a picture really quickly. I should have thought to do this earlier.
Humpty Dumpty. You have kids, you don't know them?
So,
They be when you.
Tinside, tell us about Humpty Dumpty. What do you know about him?
Humpty Dumpty is a bad boy.
What happened to him?
At the last he realized and he become I don't know if you can see Cat in the Books. He's part of the Cat in the Books movie.
He's from, have you heard of nursery rhymes? These are little poems for children, and they're very old and traditional, like Mother Goose stories. You might have heard of
The
those.
Mother Goose.
Yes. Okay, there's some pictures of Humpty Dumpty. So if you've seen English language children's books, you might have seen Humpty Dumpty. He's a big egg man. All right, so what they say about Humpty Dumpty, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what do you think happens to Humpty Dumpty when he falls off the wall? He broke. Yeah. He breaks because he's an egg. You know, you drop an egg, he's gonna break. So, anyway, so those are some pictures of Humpty Dumpty. Sometimes he looks a little scary. I'm like, this guy looks a little scary to me. I don't know. Okay. So anyway, those are some examples of Humpty Dumpty. Okay. All right. So let's look at this poem. Okay. This is what it sounds like. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Okay. So we have this rhythm again, right? So you'll notice we've got some strong beats and weak beats. So let's go through it again, and this time we're going to tap out those strong beats. Okay, you guys ready? Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Very good. Okay. All right, so you might have noticed that when we said Humpty Dumpty, strong beat followed by a weak beat. So bum, 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 bum. That's what it sounds like. There's some sentences that we have for examples here that sound very much like that because they have a strong and then a weak beat, a strong and then a weak beat, okay? So, let's see. Let's see if we can go through these sentences together, all right? And we're going to keep that same rhythm. Okay, we'll just go through the first section here. So we'll have strong, weak, strong, weak. Humpty Dumpty. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to slow it down a little bit. I'll say it, you guys repeat after me, okay? That'll make it a little easier, I think. Okay, all right, here we go. Humpty Dumpty, Humpty Dumpty, nice to meet you, nice to meet you. What's for dinner? What's for dinner? What's the matter? What's the matter? How's it going? How's it going? Just a minute. Just a minute. Call your mother. Call your mother. Okay, now we really kind of emphasized it. We exaggerated it that time. This time, let's go back through it, and instead of tapping it, we'll just say it the way we would normally say it in a conversation, but you'll still notice this pattern of beats, okay? So, Humpty Dumpty, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, okay? What's for dinner? What's for dinner? What's the matter?
What's the matter?
How's it going?
How's it going?
Just a minute.
Just a minute.
Call your mother.
Call your mother.
Okay. Yeah, call, and because of mother, you know, it's the first syllable is the strongest, so it still follows the pattern there, yeah. Call your mother. Okay.
Call.
Same thing with dinner and matter, right? The first syllable is the strongest, so it keeps the same pattern. Strong, weak, strong, weak. Okay, now let's look at a group of sentences that follow the pattern sat on a wall. So a strong beat, 2 weak beats, and a strong beat. Okay, so we'll go through it again. I'll say it, you can repeat after me. And this time we'll tap it out and we'll make it really easy to hear, okay? All right, sat on a wall.
Sat on a wall.
What do you do?
What do you do?
Where are you from?
Where are you from?
What do you want?
What do you want?
All you can eat.
All you can eat.
Give me a break.
Give me a break.
How do you do?
How do you do?
All right, very good. Okay, let's go back through those. We'll say them a little more naturally this time, but we'll still keep that same pattern of beats. Okay, sat on a wall.
Sat on a wall.
What do you do?
What do you do?
Where are you from?
Where are you from?
What do you want?
What do you want?
All you can eat.
All you can eat.
Give me a break.
Give me a break.
How do you do?
How do you do?
All right, good. Very good. All right. Okay, let's look at the top of page 85. Okay, I really like the information they give you up in this box, okay? Because they kind of explain why it's important that we keep the rhythm of English. So music and poetry have rhythm. We've talked about that a little bit. Language also has rhythm, and every language has its own rhythm. Now, English has strong beats and weak beats. Not all languages do that, but English does have this pattern, okay? Some other languages have equal beats, okay? I think Japanese is a good example of that. But in English, if you give everything kind of an equal beat, well, a couple of things may happen. All the words may sound equally important, so the important words are not as easy to hear, okay? So a native English speaker who's listening might think, I'm kind of confused because I'm used to hearing those really important words, the content words. I'm used to having those be stressed and easy to hear, okay? Another thing that may happen is if you stress everything equally, it may make you sound kind of angry. Like, let's see if I can find a good example. Like, nice to meet you. Now, if we stress everything equally, nice to meet you, it kind of sounds mechanical or just kind of angry. So you don't want to give the impression that you're angry when you're not. So using this pattern of stressing those content words and not stressing those function words, that will give you that rhythm that makes your speech sound more natural. Okay? So to make those content words easy to hear, we make them long and clear. So we stretch them out a little bit. Okay? And we shorten the function words, the words that are less important. Okay? Now, the next exercise will be a good demonstration of this. Okay? This is one of my favorite exercises. So I hope you like it too. All right, so I'm going to go through this first section, and what I'm going to try to demonstrate here is that we're going to stress those function words. Stress those content words. Those function words, we have to say them more quickly, and the more function words we have, the more quickly we have to say them. So that's why we sometimes have some words that are reduced or shorter than others. Okay? All right, so listen to this. Okay? You can practice with me in a few minutes, but for this first time through, you can just listen, all right? Dentist fix teeth. The dentist fixed her teeth. The dentist have fixed her teeth. The dentist have been fixing her teeth. Okay. Now, did you notice those function words? As we had a longer sentence, we had to start saying those really, really quickly. Okay. All right, I want you guys to say the series of sentences with me now, okay? So here we go. Dentist fixed the teeth. The dentist fixed her teeth. The dentist had fixed her teeth. The dentist had been fixing her teeth. Okay, that was pretty good. All right, we really have to say those function words quickly, which explains why in English sometimes words are hard to hear. Those function words that get shortened by the speaker, and we're like, what? I didn't hear all of that. But the good thing is that the important words are still said very clearly. Okay. All right, let's look at the second set of sentences, okay? If you want, you can just listen this first time. Okay. Teachers give tests. The teachers give the test. The teachers will give the test. The teachers are giving the test. The teacher should have given the test. Okay, good. Let's go through that one more time. All right, let's just practice that. Maybe we'll even speed it up just a little bit. Teachers give the test. The teachers give the test. The teachers will give the test. The teachers are giving the test. The teacher should have given the test. Good job. Okay. Okay, we've got one more section. All right, here we go. Joe eats cheese. Joe will eat the cheese. Joseph will eat the cheese. Joseph will be eating the cheese. Joseph will be eating the cheesecake. Okay, let's do that one more time. Okay, here we go. Joe eats cheese. Joe will eat the cheese. Joseph will eat the cheese. Joseph will be eating the cheese. Joseph will be eating the cheesecake. Yay. All right. Are you guys ready to say this whole thing from beginning to end?
Yeah.
Are we ready? Okay, let's try it. We're going to start with the dentist and end with the cheesecake, okay? All right, here we go. Dentist fixed teeth. The dentist fixed her teeth. The dentist had fixed her teeth. The dentist had been fixing her teeth. Good. Okay, I'm going to pause here. Here we go. Teachers give tests. The teachers give the test. The teachers will give the test. The teachers are giving the test. The teachers should have given the test. All right, here we go. Number 3. Joe eats cheese. Good. Joe will eat the cheese. Joseph will eat the cheese. Joseph will be eating the cheese. Joseph will be eating the cheesecake. Yay. Good job, everybody. Okay. All right, let's see. We'll probably have okay. I want you to take a look now at our last exercise today. This is a series of sentences, and what we're doing is we're making comparisons, okay? So what we're using is this construction, she's as blank as a blank. So we usually say she's as, and then we put in an adjective, and then we think of something like that adjective, a noun, and say she's as white as a ghost, okay? Or we might say he's as busy as a bee, okay? So I want you to look at these 10 sentences and do this matching exercise. You can work with your partner on this and see if you can come up with a good expression that makes sense. So you're trying to talk about a comparison here, okay?
It's a sweet.
This week.
The one. Honey. What's wrong? Honey. Jesus was
No, White means
No.
like all.
Oh, a mouse. It's a little animal.
quiet, like
Just little.
mouse.
No, it's it.
Yes, that's right.
She's
Yes.
Mouse.
it's like a bird.
What? Quiet mouse.
Sweet as
No. Let me see quiet, 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 quiet.
He has lost. Small, like shiny. He's flat.
He likes
He lies
Fabric, your fabric is silk.
Chimney is when the Santa Claus that's in the house down the house. It's a chimney.
All right, why don't we talk about the answers? Let's see what you
Or
guys said.
when you have a factory and have a fire and smoke.
Yeah, that's a good example, it is. Okay, so what did you guys think about number one? It's as sweet as
Honey.
honey. Yeah, it's as sweet as honey, because honey is sweet. She's as wise. Okay, this one's kind of funny, but.
like all.
An owl, yes, an
Yeah.
owl. Do you know what an owl is? It's a kind of bird.
Like
Ah.
yeah.
Like Hooters?
Yeah, white.
Exactly.
Yeah, white.
That's
Hooters is
Yeah.
Yeah.
true. Yeah, the restaurant food.
pollution.
Okay, that's a pretty good example. Let me see if I can find a picture.
Yeah, this is a bird.
Have some courses on university have the same.
Yes. That's right. So owls look like this. Okay. Now in English-speaking culture, we often think of owls as being very smart.
Yeah.
You guys see that? So they're often shown with the mortarboard, like they're.
And Hooter, what is the difference of Hooter and owl?
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, Hooters is an expression that means boobs.
Right.
And it also, but also owls, owls make that sound, hoo, hoo. So they're called, they say they hoot. Okay, so we can say the owl is a hooter, but it's a joke because it also means
It's a joke.
boobs, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, all the girls, all the waitresses at Hooters.
Okay. Okay, because I see a bar have a big
Yeah.
and the name is Hooter.
Yeah. So it's kind of a joke.
It's kind of joke. Okay.
Yeah.
But they never sleep in the night.
And
Oh,
I
that's
thought,
true. Yeah, owls. Yeah, and I know in some cultures owls are kind of scary. I mean, I guess they are kind of scary in our culture sometimes too. But they also have this reputation as being very smart, like they're scholars, they're students or teachers.
Yes.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So it's kind of interesting. You often see them dressed up with the mortarboard like they're graduates. Anyway, so we say wise and owl. Yeah, you didn't expect to talk about that. Okay, number
bird.
A bird.
A bird?
Yeah, birds, they,
Eat
I don't
a little
know, they
bit.
kind of eat a little bit. Birds actually eat a lot, but when you see them, it never seems like they're eating very much. They're just kind of like, you know, eating a little bit here and there. So we say he eats like a bird, meaning he just eats a little bit. And number 4, he's as quiet as, what do you think? What's
A
quiet?
mouse.
A mouse.
Mouse.
Yes, that's right. She smokes like a
Chimney.
chimney. Yes, in your house, if you have a fireplace in your house, there's a place where the smoke comes up. So sometimes somebody who smokes a lot, it's like there's always smoke coming up like a chimney. Okay. It's as flat as.
Frogs.
That would make sense, but actually the expression is, yes, it's pancake.
Pancake?
Yeah, a pancake. Do you ever eat pancakes? Yeah, they're very flat, yeah. So, yeah, if you ever order pancakes at a restaurant for breakfast, they're very flat. Number 7, he lies like,
Well,
this one's kind of a joke.
feather.
A rug, yes.
Rug.
Like a rug lies on the ground, but they're saying like he lies, like he tells lies, like he doesn't tell the truth.
What
He
is
lies like a rug.
Rug.
What? And it's the same spelling, so it's kind of a joke, a pun, because like the rug lies on the floor, but he lies like he doesn't tell the truth. So we say he lies like a rug. Yeah. Okay. All right. It says light as
Ice?
light, like not heavy, right? It's
Yeah.
not heavy. So
Like
what
a
is it?
feather.
Like a feather. It's as light as a feather. Okay. It's as smooth as
Silk.
silk. Right. Smooth, like it's not rough, you know. Okay. And number 10, it's as cold as
Ice.
ice. That's right. Okay. Now, it's as cold as ice.
How about it's a light
As a feather.
Feather.
A feather. Like a bird's feather, you know, it's not heavy, so we would say it's very light.
When to lift down.
Yeah. Okay. Now I want you guys to practice with your partner for just a moment, and try to practice saying it's as sweet as honey. And you're going to stress sweet, the adjective, and honey, which is the noun, because those are content words, right? So I want you to practice with your partner and go through the 10 sentences together. Okay. All right.
It's as sweet as honey. She eats like a bird. She walks like a He lies like a bird. Feather. It's smooth as silk. She's like
Feather? It's feather? Feather?
Feather.
Feather.
Uh-huh. Yeah, a feather. The bird's feather.
Feather.
as mouse. It's flat as a pancake. It's light as a feather. It's cold as ice.
Yeah, he's always saying lies, that's right. So yeah, as you're saying these, it's as sweet as a, or not as a in this case, but it's as sweet as honey. So you kind of have that sweet honey, and that's what you really hear. Or she's as wise as an owl. He eats like a bird. He's as quiet as a mouse. She smokes like a chimney. It's as flat as a pancake. He lies like a rug. It's as light as a feather. It's as smooth as silk. It's as cold as ice. And you might notice too that the as, because it gets reduced, So instead of sounding like as, it sounds more like is. So she's as white as a ghost. The as gets shortened and you hear more like she's as white as a ghost.
Yeah.
There. It gets shortened down a little bit. Okay, we'll talk more next time, and we'll talk more about those reduced words. We kind of concentrated on the stress words today, but we'll talk more about those reduced words in our next pronunciations. For now, though, I just want to take a few moments and go over your exam with you.